Hey, hug. Come hug.
I'm coming.
I had to bop in. I know I'm not part of the podcast, but I
I thought I
to
was
say
getting
hello to
triple
everybody.
interviewed, and my anxiety level went through the roof.
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna say you're lucky you're getting double interviewed because Izzy is checking out our new baby niece.
Yay.
That's how we're just bumping heads on my screen.
You'll see it on the podcast.
Okay.
All right. Oh, let me get mentally prepared here for this.
Let me find the questions. Hold up.
I caught a bowl.
Good job.
Yay.
Hydration check before we start.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. I got my kombucha.
Oh, I love me some kombucha.
Never had it.
So good. So good for you, and so good.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Castworks podcast. My name is Lane. And instead of Izzy, we've got E joining me as the co-host.
Hello. Izzy,
And our guest.
Ooh.
Oh,
I was gonna explain. Izzy is not here today because she's seeing our newborn niece. So that's why I'm here in her stead.
yay.
Yay. Anyway.
And our guest this week is a K-Hug.
Howdy, howdy.
Woo. Hello.
So I mean, I say this before every interview, but I've been looking forward to this one. Like
Oh, no.
even just in the moments the short moments that we've had to hang out together, I've enjoyed them, and I've wanted to actually go in depth and ask you questions like this. So I'm excited.
Oh, the pressure's on. You just added way too
pressure's
much
on.
pressure to this.
You'll be okay. You'll be fine.
It's easy.
All right, so yeah, you'll be good. He's been through this once. I've been through this like every time. So
Yeah, you're seasoned. I'm fresh. I'm like a raw cod here.
well, you know how to speak, don't you?
Yep. I think I got
Okay,
that
well, you
figured
got
out.
it then.
K-Hug's very good at that.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right.
You are. You're very
All
well
right.
spoken.
Well, K-Hug, would you like to tell the viewers, where you might be known from, what it is that you do with your channel? You know.
Oh boy. I don't really know if I'm really known for anything in particular. I mean, my channel, I guess, is primarily 95% Minecraft, but I know everybody always asks, like, are you a builder? Are you a redstoner? Are you an informational channel? I think it's a little bit of everything. I've kind of dabbled in all of it, so I guess if you're looking for a place to go and hang out and learn a little bit of everything, it's the perfect place to be. I do some redstone. I've done some civil engineering stuff in Minecraft, and I've recently started some modded Minecraft, which is new to me in the last couple of months. So it's all, kind of all over the place. Did I just get a bone? I didn't know that was even on the loot table.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's on
Yeah,
the
I
trash
think-
table.
Yeah. I think where I originally found your channel was through your Bedrock series that you was doing.
Yes, I did start on Bedrock Let's Play probably 2 years ago now. I think actually a little over 2 years ago, which is crazy to think. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but
Yeah.
it has been forever.
So how big of a shift was it for you going from Bedrock
You know-
into Java, since you do mostly Java content now, right?
It's all Java now. Yeah, I was on Bedrock obviously because when I started playing Minecraft, it was when it first released onto Xbox, and then everything in my life revolved on Xbox. Every game I had was from Xbox, and they just anything that transferred from Xbox to PC was kind of anything I played when I first got a computer. But believe this or not, you guys are probably definitely going to be able to guess this. The person who convinced me to switch to Java was none other than our own Feather Fetcher.
I was about to guess
Yeah,
that.
I can believe
Yep,
it.
exactly. We all knew that was going there. He stumbled across my Let's Play as well and was like, "Hey, buddy, let's do like a game together." And I was like, I had Java, but I was like, I only play Bedrock. And he's like, "You got to make the switch, man." And we did something together. And then I went and recorded with him on his Java world. And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right. You are right. I need to go and be part of this." I hate to say it, the better Minecraft people. It really is in all facets better.
And see,
And that's how I ended up here.
I think it's pretty a subjective thing as far as which one's
Depends
better. 'Cause
on
I know
what
a lot
your
of people
availability is
that are-
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a
And,
water
like,
bottle hydration check.
Oh, well, I know for me, I originally started on Pocket Edition way back in the day.
Ooh, never got into
Yeah.
that because I'm not a thummy guy. Thumbs, that's not a thing for me. I can't play
Well-
games on phones.
Well, I was 14, so I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, true. Right.
He was 14. He was all
but-
thumbs.
He was all
yeah,
thumbs.
all thumb.
I'm all thumbed up.
looking like a thumb from Spy Kids. But yeah, that's where I started, and then I moved into also Xbox Edition, and
Okay,
then
okay, so you've been through it
PlayStation
then.
Edition, and then when they made the transition into all of it just being Bedrock, and for the longest I only played Bedrock on my old laptop because that's all it would run. Java Edition was more resource heavy,
Yeah,
so
right, and that
yeah,
was kind of my reason too. And again, it kind of goes back to like what hardware you had. Like obviously, everybody had a gaming system. You know, that was just easy because everybody had one. PCs were a little harder to get to, obviously, and they're also not mobile. You're stuck to sitting at a computer desk. You can't sit on the
yeah.
couch and play. So I feel like a majority of people probably started that way. I could be wrong about that. Um,
I do feel like a lot of people started that way, and I mean, I know even a lot of our fans in the fan Discord, link in the description. A lot of those people over there, they also play Bedrock, and I don't know if it's largely due to hardware things or what that
yeah,
is, but a
it's
lot of people seem to
accessibility.
really enjoy it. Yeah, it is pretty
Yeah,
accessible.
yeah. You know, and I will put my foot in my, I will eat my own words. There is a lot of things that when I first switched to Java that I actually preferred in Bedrock over Java. So there is
Yeah,
like positives to still playing on Bedrock. And some things I miss. I mean, even like the way scaffold work in Bedrock, Bedrock scaffold is so much easier
it is.
than Java scaffolding.
And
But then
less.
there's all the other neat stuff that we get, like mods and all that kind of stuff, which I
Yep.
know that you can do that on Bedrock now, but I've made the change and I ain't going back now.
Yeah, yeah. For me, the selling point on switching to Java was being able to add in the data packs,
Yes. Yeah.
and the mods. That was a very big thing to me because at the time when I really wanted to play Java was when I was really getting into Hermitcraft,
Did I just miss that?
and yeah, I was really getting into Hermitcraft, and they were using like the micro blocks with the Wandering Trader stuff, and it was
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
things like that that I just really wanted because I felt like it added a lot to their world, and I wanted that experience for
Right.
myself. So that
Yeah,
was the
there's
selling point.
definitely many more ways to express yourself in Java, I believe. Now, again, I
Yeah.
know Bedrock has more options now, but yeah, with all like the mini blocks and the custom armor stands and stuff, like all of that was head mod, like getting extra player heads to create
Yep.
decoration. Like that was all just things to you can use for these little like micro decorations and really kind of bring life to your build. And I think that's something I'm trying to focus on more because I'm obviously not an interior person whatsoever. So that's part of my you are still fishing and you're asleep?
Yep. She's talented like that.
We brought a professional with us today.
I know this podcast. I know how this works. And I still got my fish.
lay in bed while fishing. That's crazy.
Well, usually me and Izzy are racing to sleep, and I just kind of forgot to sleep that time. So he's winning right now.
He's
Well,
winning. All right,
Yeah.
it's a
Yes,
game. I get it.
Yeah, one of the other selling points for me with Java was, and this might just be me, this could be a skill issue, but with Bedrock, I feel like the redstone works differently,
It
and I
does.
don't like it. I
Yep.
don't like it on Bedrock.
And I wasn't even a big redstoner when I played in my Let's Play things. Like I built farms and stuff. I had to look up a lot of tutorials on how to do it because again, I mean, I'm with you. I think everybody who's in the Minecraft world is in the same mindset that like Hermitcraft is the thing you're always reaching for, is the thing that you enjoy because there's always somebody there that and watching their redstone, I was always like, oh, that's so cool. But I couldn't do any of it because Bedrocks was completely different. And
Yeah,
I never chose to learn Bedrocks because I was like, well, the people I enjoy watching are doing redstone backwards according to Bedrock. So
yeah.
yeah, I just never even attempted to do it.
Well, Bedrock just, it feels, in terms of redstone specifically, it just feels more restricted in general. And if you want to build something complex, like the recategorizer that I did in season 1 of Craftworks, the one that I've been procrastinating in season 2 of Craftworks, that if I would have tried that in Bedrock, it would not have worked. And if I wanted to make it work, I would have had to make it about 10 times larger.
Right, right. Yeah, no,
And
I agree
it
with you
would,
there.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a big thing for me, especially considering I'm originally a redstoner. Building is something I've started doing over the last couple of years, and it's what my channel is known for. But I'm a
So you
redstoner
started,
at
I guess I
heart,
didn't know
so
this. You started off as redstone.
yeah, yeah, I did. Now
Oh.
much like everything else I do with like music and content creation, 100% self-taught. I can put redstone down and figure it out. I can't tell you exactly how it works.
Yeah, I've tried to read the wikis and learn things building the Among Us game, and there's just a lot of things that I go, yeah, I understand, and then I build it and go, nope, I don't understand. I
Yeah.
I thought I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Enough about Bedrock and Java. I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
know how did you start your channel? What made KHUD go, let's do
Oh,
YouTube?
you know what? This may be how deep do these conversations go? Am I supposed to be completely transparent about my life? Because this
Up to you.
That's entirely
100%
up
up
to
to
you.
you.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's no reason to hold anything back, I suppose. I actually, for the longest time, I mean, obviously, again, back to Hermitcraft. We all want to be Hermitcraft because that would be amazing. Like, imagine this being your job, is sitting here fishing on
Yeah.
this pier for a job. That sounds great. But no, candidly, this started 2.5 years ago while I was in college, and I'll keep all the bad bits, I guess, out of this, but I was in a really bad relationship at the time. And like when they left, my partner left and went to work or to hang out with friends and do things, it was like that was my escape. It was like I didn't leave the house. It was like that kind of a bad situation. So it was my escape to be like, okay, I'm getting on here. I'm gonna. If I started off actually live streaming on Twitch because I was convinced that was the way to go. And I was like, I'm just gonna get on for 2 hours when so and so's gone, and I'm gonna just talk to random people and enjoy playing Minecraft because it's a game that I think everybody enjoys. And I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I know you started at Pocket Edition. Like I've always had Minecraft for whatever 10, 15 years. Um, but didn't play it, consistently for 10, 15 years. It
Yep,
was kind of off
same.
and on and off and on
Same.
and off and on. So it was that time to turn it back on again. And like I said, it was a really low point, unfortunately, in my life. And I was like, it was my escape, I guess, to get my social battery filled by talking to random people and honestly just talking to myself. It was helpful. So that's kind of sparked up one day, and that was that. It was rocky at first because Twitch was just, you start from zero. It was one person,
Twitch is
every other
harder to
day or
build that
something like
audience.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was difficult. And so yeah, that's where it started. And then I think I remember seeing this question later on, like how did your channel develop over time? And I'm just going to skip right to that
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
because that's where I started. And then I was like, well, you know what, this isn't working, and I just, whatever. So I started just uploading those videos straight from Twitch to YouTube. There was like an export button, and that started getting a little more traction. I was like, okay, well, YouTube seems to be a little more forgiving when it comes to views and stuff. And then I realized how bad my videos were watching a lot of the Hermitcraft stuff, and that's when I was like, all right, time to download and editing software. No more lives. Let's edit some stuff down, and that's kind of where it all started. It was a long process. It was a long first year and a half of the channel. My first year and a half was miserable, but it was fun. I still enjoyed every bit of it. It was a good learning experience for sure.
I think learning it and figuring it out as you go. I mean, again, I'm biased because that's how I've done everything else, but I
Yeah.
find that to be incredibly satisfying and just fun overall. That aha moment of figuring something out. Like, I mean, I've been teasing this over the last few podcasts now, but I've already got plans in the works for season 3, and like the only crafter that knows about it so far is E, and that's because she's my channel artist.
Nice.
um,
I'm in the know.
Oh, that
and
was my fish. You stole my fish.
I've got to figure out how to edit certain things a little bit differently, and like the idea of starting a whole new thing and figuring it out from scratch, it's got me excited. It's
Yes.
looking forward
Yes.
to doing things like that.
Yeah. And as the problem solving engineer that I am on a daily basis, it is exactly that for me too. It's not jumping in and having somebody show me the ropes or copying what somebody else did, but like learning the editing process. I just started just cutting things up, and it was probably, I bet if you went back and watched my first season of Minecraft ever, it's probably a miserable watch. I wouldn't even watch my own stuff at this point, but I learned a lot through the fails of editing videos and then learning how to put the music in and learning how to do this season of Craftworks is like the first time I've opened up and done like I'll call them quote unquote cinematic intros and stuff. Like that stuff's all new to me, and I've been enjoying learning how to make those better every single episode. So
Yeah, personally, I love your cinematic intros. I want to do more stuff like that, but at the same time, with how last minute I tend to edit things
yeah.
nowadays, I cannot. I cannot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pain sometimes. Sometimes I get a whole thing recorded. I'm like, okay, now how do I put a cinematic intro in the front of this? And I have to go backwards and record something, and that's not enjoyable at all. So
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of try to start with the cinematic intro and go, okay, like this time I'm going to be fixing my redstone, and I go do that first, and then my episode continues. So it's a order of operations thing for sure. And again, I'm also still learning daily on how to do that better. So
Yeah.
wait, you
Like
just reeled that in,
mentioned-
and I caught that. You see
Yep.
that?
Yep, that's been happening
Yeah,
this whole
Right
time.
out of your pocket.
that happens a lot in your seat, actually.
Oh, goody! Look
The
at me.
middle seat gets all the stuff.
I hope this is
Yeah.
a competition because I'm winning.
Nope, there's no competition there.
Unless Goose is around, there's no competition.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you were talking about like your first videos on YouTube and how much you've learned since then. I mean, it's the same for all of us. I mean, like I know E went through this, I went through this, and pretty much all the other crafters have gone through this. Some of our fans are currently going through this, where they're looking back at our first videos and seeing just how much more complex our stuff is now compared to then, just because we know how to edit now. And sometimes, like in my case, it's a little bit simpler, but it's it's the fact that we've grown and we've learned what we can do, what we shouldn't do in our video, what we can get away with in our videos, like
Yeah.
in terms of editing and stuff like that. And I mean, again, we've all come a long ways. Like my first, I don't know, 4 videos didn't even have background music or anything. So
Oh no, mine didn't either. They were terrible. I think my whole first season 1 Let's Play was. I'm telling you, you know what? I do leave it. I know a lot of people delete those things because it kind of almost a little bit reflects poorly if somebody starts there and they go, oh man, this guy's terrible. But to me, it's almost kind of like, I want people to see that, because anybody who wants to be interested in starting their own channel, doing things, like, go watch those. See how bad I was in the beginning. I'm not saying I'm good now, but if you go watch those and then watch my latest video, like, you'll see that in a couple, it takes time, but in a couple years, I've a 180 difference in my videos. And that's why I leave them there. I say they're embarrassing. I don't
no,
like
I do
knowing.
the same thing. Yeah.
I try to
Same
ignore
reason.
them, but it's always in the back of my mind going, should I get rid of those? Because those are bad. But no, it's a good.
Same reason for me. I mean, like I was just looking at my analytics for the podcast, and some of my first like 3 videos were just getting views today, which is
Oh wow, that's
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've actually haven't looked at mine probably in a good year. Maybe I should go look and see my very first video ever, when the
Well, it's-
last view was.
Well, I was mainly looking because I'm behind on getting content out, and I somehow got subscribers out of nowhere. So I was trying to figure out where they came from.
Where they came from. I love
Yeah.
those. The surprise ones, those are great.
Yeah.
It's also a
But-
good reflection of your growth, just leaving those
That-
there.
Yeah. No, it is equally motivating for myself, and for, again, like, I hope other people. I know, a lot of our fans are starting their own things here and there, and like, it's probably a good perspective to see that we all weren't this. I'm not saying we're the greatest, but we all weren't good at making videos. We all
Yeah.
started, same with Minecraft. We all started building dirt houses at one point in time. So
Yeah.
We all started
And I mean,
exactly where
it's-
you guys are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like, so this might be controversial, but I am only in this last year have I started actually getting into ethos content.
No, I'm drinking. Oh, dang it. Okay, I missed it. I knew it was going to happen the minute I picked up my water.
But yeah, so it's only in like this past year, but Etho has all of his, like, he's been in his single player world forever. It was his forever world before a forever world was a thing.
Hmm.
That's crazy. I've never seen any of
And-
his stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, and his earliest episodes are still up. You can find when he started his very first Let's Play world.
And I love that. I think, I hate to keep going back to the Hermitcraft thing, but I know every Minecrafter does it. I think a lot of them, not a lot of them, but some of them have, taken down their old videos. And like, those are the ones that I like to go back and watch. I tried to like search through Mumbo's and Greens, is like, see the
Yeah.
very first episodes. I just wanted to see where they started. And it is, again, it's good to see.
It's
that
motivating.
It's very motivating. Like, if they can do it, I can do it, kind of a thing.
Exactly.
I would be
But
really
I'm also
concerned if
that
their first
person.
videos were perfect. Then I'd be like, man,
Yeah.
I really stink at this.
But I'm also one of those people that if I see somebody else doing something, my brain automatically goes, "Oh, I can do that."
Yeah, I can do that. I can
And-
do it better. Watch
and
this.
sometimes it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
um,
That's
But,
why he's already done like 4 megabases in the span of 2 seasons.
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, yeah, 4. Come to think of it.
That's crazy.
Because we had the piglin bartering farm in season 1, and like that was in the span of me working on the actual mega base, and then this season was the mega prismarine farm, which had no reason or right to be as big and as grand as it was, but it turned out that way. And
Yeah,
I
but it
don't
looks cool.
regret it.
That's the whole
Yeah,
point. It looks
I
cool, I
don't
say.
regret it. Yeah. And then the actual mega base, which isn't even close to being done. So, so what? One of the other things here is, so you've been playing Minecraft for however long now. You've been playing for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
What initially drew you to the game? What made you keep playing?
I mean, I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know what the first draw was. I mean, it was just I don't know how to even explain what this game does to me. That seems weird, but it's just I don't know. It's got everything a person can want. Really, you have the freedom to build. Like I'm big into open world survivals a lot too. I've played Ark and I've played Conan and all these other bigger, AAA titles and stuff. But I always end up back in Minecraft, even when I play those games to kind of get take a break from Minecraft. I'm like, man, I miss Minecraft because they don't. I don't know if it's the simplicity behind it or what it is, but it is just kind of like an open canvas, really, and you can do
Yeah.
anything you want. And I think some of those other games are restricted a bit, and Minecraft is definitely just a utter freedom. There's like
Yeah.
nothing you can't do. I mean, heck, people are building computers in the game of Minecraft, which is
Yeah.
bonkers. So like, there
I've
literally is
seen
no limitations.
I've seen a video of a person making Minecraft in Minecraft.
Mhm.
Yeah, making Minecraft play on a screen in Minecraft. Like I don't know how to even begin to think what that guy's brain's like on the inside, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's incredible. Yeah, so it's all about that. Like I said, it's a blank canvas. You can do anything.
Yeah.
You have your simple survival aspects. You can farm and anything. Like I got a book, my first book. Oh, it's a good one. You have like like Stardew Valley aspects. You can get animals and do
Yep.
things and trade with villagers. It's just everything. It's got everything
There's a play style for everybody here.
for everybody. I don't care if you're a Call of Duty connoisseur strictly. You can come in here and play PvP and probably have just as much fun.
I mean, that's
it's
where I
endless.
started was Call of Duty, and then
Yeah.
into Minecraft. So
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that those two things have any these games have any commonality between the two, but they do at the end of the day.
yeah, no, and like I also get the not being able to explain what drew you in, because I still don't fully understand what drew me into it. As you said, I think it's just the fact that I can get in here and do whatever my heart desires. And for a lot of people that I've talked to IRL, because like all of my IRL friends know that I do Minecraft YouTube and stuff like that, and they know they know the concept behind it, and some of them have just even straight up said, I tried it and it was fun, but there's in some parts too much freedom and I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, well, there is. Yeah, I guess there's always one side or two sides to every coin. I guess if you like to have a game that forces you down this narrow pathway of like this is what you're doing in the game, this is probably not the game for you because there's just so much. It is a little bit overwhelming at times.
Some people just
Yeah.
need those guidelines.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
need your bumpers on your bowling alley and live
Yeah.
happily there.
Well, put it that way, but
Okay, well, another question that we typically ask, and this one was also asked in the fan Discord by Steve. We were wondering how you came up with your name, K-Hug.
I love that people ask me this all the time because I always start my intro with "Hello there, my name's K-Hug, but you can call me Kyler." It is just my name. It is just my name. Now I know there's questions about the hug part of that. I don't like to just walk up and hug people. I'm not a
Not a
hugger,
hugger.
actually, contrarily to my name. But it is just my name, and I guess this is a little bit more of that. How much do we share? But I don't really care. I don't hide, I guess, my identity like some people like to do, which for good reasons. And I probably should exercise being more confidential. But my last name is Hug, unfortunately. So that is where K Hug comes from. It is just my name. So that's a fun fact for anybody who didn't know.
Okay, see, I did not know that. I actually thought there was more to it than that.
No, my last name is unfortunately Hug. Yeah.
Wow,
I
okay.
did know that, and I was actually surprised when I found out that it was legitimately your actual name.
Just my name. Yeah, it started with, again, back in Xbox playing Halos and Call of Duty and all those things. Like it was, just K Hug. It's easy. It's just my first initial last name. Actually, I think that was like my student name in school, like on your
Yeah.
little student card was just K Hug.
Yeah.
And I was like, perfect. I'm just going to translate that over. Probably should have changed that. Again, for confidentiality reasons, but I'm an open book. There's nothing I have to hide, so I guess it doesn't really bother me.
I mean, look, I get it. I've been using Lucky Lane 0 since the start of my Xbox 360 days.
Yeah, and it's hard to change. Like, why would you change something if it works? Like, don't change
Yeah.
it. Don't fix what ain't broken.
Well, at
I've
this point, it
changed-
feels trademarks to me, so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I've changed mine 5 times.
Wait. Okay, hold on. I get to ask questions, right? Do we
Yes.
know the other? Wait, I thought it was mine. Do we know the other four Empress Little Bits? Was it Empress Big Bit, Empress Semi Bit,
Nope.
Empress Medium Bit?
She just quietly nope.
Emperor's Little Bit is actually the very final variation of it all. I didn't start as Empress or Little Bit. I started with a character name that I came up with for a book that I was writing called Drama Age Changer. So,
Oh,
because my old nickname, or I say nickname, it's more like a code name that my siblings and I used to give each other. So mine was Drama.
Checks out.
And
Yeah,
I
I can
put
see it.
Age Changer at the end because of the character. We can discuss that character later on because this isn't about me. But it went from Drama Age Changer to Drama Bedtato because of a nickname that an ex-friend of mine gave me. And then went to Empress Bedtato and then Empress Little Bit.
okay. Wow, I didn't expect the. Yeah, much more.
Complex.
Yeah, complex names than mine, I guess.
Yeah.
You put more thought into yours. I was just like, yeah, my name.
Yeah.
Hey, yours is
K-Hug,
simple
are you
though.
dual wielding fishing rods over here?
I am. I'm doubling my lure. I have lure 6.
And
It's working
Puddle Shine
great.
wants to know your location.
Yeah.
Just say it 3 times, he'll appear.
Yeah.
If you hold
Fish,
3
fish,
fishing
fish.
rods, then he'll appear.
So we talked a little bit about how you've evolved as an editor. I'm curious to know who has inspired you, not just as an editor, but I guess as a builder. Who's inspired you? How's your style changed over time?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It's a lot actually. So here we go back to Hermitcraft. I mean, we all watch it. I guess I don't know. I guess I'm why I'm being so shy about it. But I started off watching a lot of Grian, and he was just kind of a wholesome, all over content person, and I really liked that. I mean, he was the first person. I actually found his channel before he was even in Hermitcraft, and I thought he was great. And then he joined Hermitcraft, and I was like, oh, this guy deserves it. So that's kind of where I started. And he doesn't do anything. I'm not gonna say he doesn't do spectacular things because he does. But when you put him apples to apples with Mumbo, who's like this redstone guru, and then put those two up against like Scar, who's just like this ultimate landscaper and detail oriented guy. I've been actually ever since I start. Good night. Ever since I started, I went to turn over to look at you, and you were like crawling into bed. Ever since I started, I don't know, probably about a year ago. I mean, I was just playing Minecraft, I was building just kind of whatever I wanted to, and just whatever came to mind that day, I would build. But ever since this got kind of more and more serious, I was like, okay, I need to start planning things, and so I think I've kind of absorbed a lot of different Hermitcraft personalities. So again, I like to think that I'm a nice guy like the Green is. Not that everybody in Hermitcraft isn't, but I was like, okay, well now let me go down my redstone branch, and I started, watching a lot of mumbo jumbo, trying to figure out like how the redstone processes work, and then I was like, man, I want to build bigger, more beautiful landscapes. So I started watching some Scar, and then most recently, and this is another Feather Fetcher shout out, I kind of been watching a little bit of B-dubs, and that's where
Oh yeah, love
that's where the idea of doing cinematic entrances came from, because his cinematography is amazing.
It
And I was like,
is.
well, you know what? If I can blend that into my videos as well, I'm going for it. And that's what I've been trying to do. So again, it's an amalgamation, a combination of a bunch of crazy different personalities, trying to be a jack of all trades, master of
Yeah.
none kind of a thing.
I get it. That I'm the same way, and it's funny you bring up beat ups because beat ups. I started getting into him sometime last year, and funny enough, it was like right before I met Feather. Whenever I started watching beat ups, and then Feather just kind of drilled that in us, I guess, over time.
I think it's just because he sounds and his mannerisms, he just is a little B-dubs. It's just weird.
He's just a little
He's
Dutch
just
version
a
of
feathered
B-dubs.
B-dubs.
He is
It's,
B-dubs
it's
at
so
home.
strange. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I wouldn't even call it that. I'd say with his building skill, he's on par. You know.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And I've never been disappointed with anything that B-dubs has put out, content-wise, build-wise, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
and I feel it because like the jack of all trades thing. I tend to edit a little bit more in the styles of Grian, Mumbo, and Impulse if they were combined a little bit. And I'm trying to add a little bit of beat-ups in there with my monologues.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, for instance, like with the Mumbo thing, how he does, and he's always done this, or I say always, and as long as I've been watching him, he's been doing this. He does these little transition screens. Like this season of Hermitcraft, he's doing the
Yeah, his
transition
business card
cards.
things, those are
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
those are. But like he's always done like just a. If he wasn't doing those sort of thing, it was just a black screen with some text on it, and quick voiceover, and he's going into the next scene.
Yeah,
And the way
yeah.
he does it is it's lined up so perfectly that the retention on it is not lost. So it's like it just goes one sentence into another and then into the new scene. That's
Yeah.
what it's doing, and it holds that retention. So I'm trying to add that in on top of doing things a little bit more like Grian in terms of trimming down to not necessarily every syllable, but to where it makes sense and it doesn't feel weird.
Right. It is kind of an odd, it feels weird, I guess, when I sit back and I think about it. Because, like, although I feel like again, I'm a combination of multiple of those personalities, like, I want my identity to be its own. So it's kind of weird to be like, oh, I want to be like Green and Mumbo and B-dubs combined. Because it doesn't feel like open and honest, It kind of feels like you're just copying
Yeah.
somebody because they're having success. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like, it's including those pieces, but then also creating your own
Yeah.
own recording and editing style. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
weird
Well,
situation.
See, that's the thing. Like, so those two are my editing thing, and I'm trying to add in a little bit of beat-ups in there where I'm not re-recording 32 times for a 30-second monologue because I stutter over a word or something. I'm trying to become more okay with that and play off of it a little bit for comedy's sake.
Yeah, I mess up words all the time. Words are hard.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
just let
funny,
it. I just let it roll.
and it's funny because IRL, I don't have that issue. IRL,
Oh, I do.
If I
Oh,
mess
that's
up
me.
IRL,
No.
if I mess up a word, I'm laughing about it. Why am I not doing it on camera?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a little bit of that. Like, you want somebody to be like, oh, this dummy, he didn't know how to say onomatopoeia or something. It's like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I don't know why I picked that was a hard word. I don't know why I picked that one, but ketchup. There we go. That's what I should have gone with.
If I
Yeah.
mess up a word or if I forget what it is, I just question my humanity.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do the same thing. I look down at the ground. I stop recording. I look at myself. And I'm like, what did I just say? That was so stupid.
What am
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
How did I end
Where
up
am I
here?
right now?
I mean, there was that one time that I forgot what the word animals was.
Good. Good. That's that one's tough. That's a tough one.
man.
Okay. Anyway,
Uh,
let's see.
and yeah, so like the recording aspect of it, it's much in the style of Impulse where I'm recording in just small clips and I'm not doing like everybody else where I hit record and then I just let it go for the entire duration that I'm on, and the next thing I know, I've got 20 hours worth of footage that I've got to break down into a 20-minute thing.
Yeah, I'm that guy, unfortunately, and it's not a fun guy to be. It's a lot of
And that's why
video
you
to
get
cut through.
replay buffer. So if something interesting happens, you can save it and you're done.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
At this point-
You're right there.
At this point, Lane just needs to be a spokesperson for Replay Buffer.
Yeah,
He
for
does-
real.
He does talk
But
about it.
But it has saved me so much.
It's come up in every podcast since like
It
mine.
it has. It has, but that's how important it is for what I do.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's I look at and Izzy does this. Izzy's not here today, but Izzy records a lot like Mumbo, I think too.
Oh yeah.
She's got that like that quick cut paragraph
Yeah.
cut, sentence cut, and I like it. I like Mumbo style. It keeps you. It's kind of like you were saying back to the editing style. It keeps you interested. Like the retention
Yeah.
rate is because you're being. It's almost like you're being jostled around. Like you don't get
Yeah.
a time to like sit back and kind of get bored of the information. Kind of also how I learned about putting music in. Like first, I was just slapping songs in the very beginning. I'm very intentional now with where I put them. Like they're on transitions, or where a scene cuts, or where the music or the beat drops. Like something happens, and that's again one of those things that you learn just making videos over and over and over. You learn like,
Yeah.
oh, this makes people more interested when the music's not just randomly placed because it
Yeah.
like feels like it has a meaning to it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's That's one of the things that I'm trying to do with my music is be a little bit more intentional with where I'm putting it. I've gotten to where if I'm doing interactive scenes, like let's say the three of us are hanging out and we're doing something together, and like the three of us chatting over each other is already chaotic enough. Adding music in
Right.
over that is only going to make that worse.
Yep. Yep. Totally
So
agree.
like I won't do it there. I also edit down the sentences and to the syllables so this way things feel a little bit more faster paced and
Trying to
stuff.
sneak some better fish over there. I see what you're going for.
But yeah, so it's all been just experimentation and like even like okay, so full disclosure on like my analytics. If I compared my latest video to the video that would have been out at that time last year, the retention is way higher. So like my
Oh yeah.
retention used to be about 3 minutes per video. Like as of late, might have been on the low end about 6 minutes of video to upwards of even 12 or 13.
Yeah, that's great.
But the views aren't making up for it. So
yeah. Yeah, YouTube's it's a fickle beast that we're all trying to tame. It's not
Yeah.
I wish it was cut and dry. I wish there was like a book I could just read and just do it. But
Yeah. So how would you describe your building style? So before I let you answer, I like to talk. Um I have visited your base more than anybody else's this season, primarily
oh
because I
no.
needed mushroom stems. But I've been out there so much, and every time I'm out there, I'm blown away with what you've done. I genuinely love your base. I
Oh,
think out of things that have been put up this season, I think between yours, Cubes, and I want to say like what Millie has got going on, y'all have got like my favorite areas of the server this season.
oh, sweet. Well, that makes me feel better about what I do because sometimes I look back at it, I'm like, man, did I do this wrong, or is this not look right, or does this not make sense? Um, so for the process, yeah, oh boy, I wish I had a process. I wish I just had a cut and dry process.
I don't
I
either, so
and it's like a revolving door of things, I guess. I started out by just since I started live on Twitch, it was just build to build. I just got on and just built whatever I thought in the day or finished building something I started and had no rhyme or reason to it. I've gotten much better about planning currently. What did I just
Yes.
get?
yeah, yes.
What? What is that? What I get? What happened? What is that?
Check it out.
That's one of the advancements for
How do I look at my
the
advancements? What page is that? How do I get there?
No,
well
just,
if you
just
if you
hover
hit T
over it on
and just
the
hover over the
on the text box.
Sit for over an I feel dirty. That feels like I shouldn't have that. That's crazy. Oh boy. No, I definitely do a little more planning now. Like I said, I used to just jump in and just go for it. Now I will, depending on what series I'm in. I think my modded series and my hardcore series, I'll do a world download. If I'm planning on doing another build, and I'll place the build. I'll do like a rough build, I suppose you'll call it. I don't like detail it out. I don't do any gradients to it. I just get a general shape so I know it's going to fit into my world. So that's kind of the planning process with those. Here's been crazy. I have used more Creative World in the Craftworks season than I have in my entire life of Minecraft.
yeah.
It's definitely been a change of pace because not only do I have to build things twice, I have to resource for the crazy amount of blocks that I choose to use when I build things in creative and then try to replicate them here. Yeah, all over the place. I just reeled that in before the fish bit. There we go. There's a word mix up. I said bot instead of bit. There it is. My new fascination, and I've been using this for the settlement, is I just got onto Pinterest, looked up AI generated dystopian buildings, and found some pictures. I got a tripwire. Nice.
Nice.
Found some random generated images, pulled those up on the screen next to me, and tried to replicate those in a Minecraft, like how I would in Minecraft. And that's where all those buildings come from. They're actually not. They're just AI generated dystopian builds, and that's kind of like my new fascination. Is be like, oh, I can just make an AI generated thing, make me any image that I can dream of, and then try to build it. It's been kind of my new thing.
Funny thing
And
is, that
that's-
was one of the first things that I built was in a build battle with Lane, Izzy, and Wendigo, the Chaos Quartet. during that build battle, we used an AI image. At the time, I didn't realize it was an AI image, but we started realizing it over time because a lot of the aspects of the build weren't connected to anything, so that was fun
Yeah.
trying to replicate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like I was watching Izzy's best of video that she put out today, and I honestly forgot about those moments in the AI build. Like how the umbrella for the like the patio table, it wasn't even connected. It was just a floating umbrella.
Oh, that's funny.
And
That's
like
funny.
it looked like a little like waffle or tomato or something sitting on the table, but there was no plate under it.
Waffle or tomato, we don't know which. They absolutely
I
don't
feel
have
like-
anything in common.
I was gonna say round and red and flat and brown. I don't know how you
But
got this.
Look, it was just it's the way it looked. It was just small and pixelated on the screen, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I've done that a time or two. So I got junk. I built that after a a chain of stores. I'm not going to say the name of the stores because, you know,
Okay.
legal reasons mayhaps, but I built it kind of designed off of that. And what I did was I use GIMP, like the photo editing software or whatever, and I put it in there and put the grid over it, and I kind of scaled it to what I wanted,
Oh.
and then I used a color picker on that thing because it was like an actual IRL picture. It wasn't an AI created image, but I took it and I took a color picker and put that into a website called HueBlocks or something like that. And what it did was it told me the blocks that would closely resemble those specific colors, which is how I came up with that build over there.
Yo,
the
you might have
individual
just
colors and
upgraded
shapes.
my AI generated building technique. That sounds
I-
way easier than staring at it and going, then scrolling through 3,000 blocks trying to
I
find
can
one
s-
that matches.
I can send you the link to the video that I used for that because that's what inspired me to try that out. Like even Mumbo commented on that video because it was so good. It's a smaller YouTuber like us.
Huh. That's a really cool idea. I never even thought about taking it because I have Krita. I used to use all the time, but I have Krita and I could just drop an image in Krita, put a grid over the paper, and like you said, zoom in or out based on how I want the blocks to kind of match up. I never even thought about doing that. That would make
Yep.
my life so much easier.
Yeah, and like you can even use that like hue blocks to find gradients that you want to try using and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
and it'll
yeah.
tell you all the blocks that'll fit that specific color scheme. So
Oh, that's really cool. That's really
yeah.
neat. Huh.
And it's not perfect. It is not perfect. I will say that, but it was a help.
Yeah,
And
you can only
I've
do
done
so
it-
much when
yeah.
you're taking an image and you're downloading it into Minecraft bits. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's only so many ways that things can be done.
Yeah, but I learned a lot about building and stuff like that just by using that. And that had been my process for a couple of builds that I did. Now, I haven't done it recently because what I'm doing with the castle is pretty much like completely original other than like Feather doing the interior, Wendigo helping me with his latest build, which has not been released on my channel as of the recording of this podcast, but
Spoilers.
it is put up. And like Imchmu helping me with one of the towers over there. But for the most part, it's been mostly original. I mean, you can ask E though. My usual process is me placing some blocks, sending her a screenshot saying, "E, what do you think?"
And then E gives her input.
And then Lane
E gives
says,
her input.
I didn't need your input anyways, and just does what he wants.
Yep.
Or does he listen?
Well, there's a lot of times where I will listen and like I'll think about it, and like it's hard for me to understand what people mean about a build through text rather than
Yeah.
Yeah,
putting
then
it
just-
together.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
there's me using all
absolutely.
of my artistic terms like contrast and
Well, I understand that stuff now, but
yeah, line of sight. Well, you know line of sight, but I think of it differently as in an illustration point of view. While you're
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
of it in a 3D building
Yeah.
style point of view.
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Well, you know, we haven't really talked much about yours, and I don't remember if we asked this on yours or not. Like, what is your process for it?
For a
Yeah.
building,
Yeah,
telling a story. Like,
that's it.
Nine,
That's
9 times out of 10, as I'm building, I will start telling myself a story in my head and then just follow that story as I'm building.
Oh, yo, you got me tripping. I can't do two things at once. I can't talk to myself and build. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, for real.
Okay, how do I explain this? So if I'm building a path, it can't just be a path. It has to be a path to somewhere.
Okay, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it also has to be what was going along this path, what made these tracks on this path, why is this path more
Yeah.
worn on the edges than it is in the middle? Is that because it's with carts and not a walking path? Because if it was a walking path, it would be more trod on in the middle, etc.
My brain just like zoomed out to every path I've ever built, and I'm like analyzing the paths I've made and have I done them correctly? I think I'm okay, but that just really hurt me. That cut deep.
But it's an interesting way of looking at it, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is because like I'm thinking about, most people just lay a path out, you get your either path blocks, you get your course down, you just slap a path down. But yeah, I guess if you really want to analyze it, yeah, what is this is it a walking path? So should it be narrow and kind of thin with like, grown up weeds on the side, or is it like a truck path where there should be two thick lines of heavy traffic? I've never even thought about doing paths that way before.
Yeah.
And that's just paths for me.
You know what we should do? We should analyze that path right there. Who made that path across the water? What is that?
Izzy made that path
Yeah,
across
let's
the
say
water.
Izzy made that one.
What we would think what was going through her head here when she made this path?
Make path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Okay,
it looks like.
There it is.
That's what goes through my head when I'm making a path.
It's also to
Make
add
path.
more interest to the side of the bank for the podcast, so that's why she put that path there.
Yeah. She just wanted color and lots of
Yeah.
different blocks. Yeah. No,
But
I never thought about it that way. That's really good. I mean, I like to think I kind of try to do the same thing, especially building the settlement thing. I've really been focusing on, well, what's this building for? Why is it being used? How would somebody access this? Like, I'm trying to do that.
I
It's
was-
something, again, out of my comfort zone. So it's a learning experience.
Yeah,
was
I'll be
super
doing that a
proud
lot
of you.
next season.
I was super proud of you when I walked into that area and felt the atmosphere that you were going for with the giant
Oh,
trees,
yes.
how tall the buildings were, how they were interconnected with each other, how you can tell that these
Okay.
people are working together to stay alive.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Cool. I'm glad it got across.
Yep, you
Yeah,
got it.
Sweet.
You got it. I was super
You did.
proud of you.
Yep. Yeah. We were talking about the process. You do a lot of organics. So like,
You
I-
do
I-
do a lot of
like
organics. You do
well,
do a lot
well,
of
well, 'cause I'm
organics,
trying to figure
yeah.
out how to put this. I could
Get
see,
out of here, you
Well, like I'm
stinky
seeing the
squid.
storyteller. I'm seeing the storyteller brain as you're making your organics. Like you making Zion, and then like look. I'm sorry, I can't remember the names. But like
Inti, Isla.
yeah. Like
Wait, can we
all
stop
of-
and talk about like the dandelion puff flower thing? That is
Ah,
still
yes,
probably
the
my favorite place
holdfast
to fly
forest.
Oh,
around.
yeah. Yes.
Oh, it's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Those are
So
some of
like
my favorites.
when I see that, like what goes through my head thinking about your process, this is the way I perceive the way you're perceiving it. It's like you're thinking of all the minute things, like if there would be like so much as like a scar on this character or something,
Yes, I actually got one of those details wrong on
Oh,
one of my
no.
builds, and I couldn't change it till forever, and it made me mad because it was part of the story. Inti is actually supposed to have 2 tails, not 3.
Oh,
'Cause he lost one of them.
Ah. Well, I can change that. Give me my axe. Where's he at?
It's only on his sleeping form that he has 2 tails.
Oh, spoiler alerts.
The
a
videos are
little
already out. It's
inside
fine.
look.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that does go through my head as I'm building organics. Like, how are they going to be standing? Are they going to be doing multiple different poses, or are they more of a actual statue and just not moving too much? How would they move and stuff like that? But I also have to translate that into how I can use Minecraft bricks to get that across.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've
That's the
gone above
challenge
and
part
beyond
there.
my knowledge of Minecraft. I don't think there's a day in my lifetime that I'm going to attempt to build an organic. I don't care if it's I mean, I guess a tree is technically an organic, and those were a pain. I can't imagine trying to make an animal in Minecraft. That's not for me.
learn circles and
And-
you'll figure it out from there.
Oh,
And it's funny because like my first, like I guess other than like trees and like bushes and stuff like that, my first actual organic I did was with E during season 1 of my single player world, where she came in and did the statue of Dave with me.
That
But
was
that
my
was
very
like-
first organic.
Yeah, I remember. Look, it was fun. I enjoyed that.
I don't think K-Hug knows what Dave is.
Yeah, what is Dave?
What is Dave? Okay, so in that world, I had this massive villager trading tunnel, and
This seems slightly illegal, but continue.
anyway, I had anyway.
Sorry, Izzy.
So like I was loaded on emeralds in there, and so like I was pretty rich on that, and then like I had a bunch of diamonds because it was single player. I didn't have an economy to look after there, and my love for all the redstone projects that I did throughout that world, all few of the redstone projects I did throughout that world, I should say, and so the statue of Dave is holding up these different things that I have shown my passion for throughout that season. And that's basically what it is it's just sitting on a hilltop, just representing what the season was about, I guess.
Is Dave a person?
Dave is a 4 I am deity statue that holds the things that you cherish most.
Yes, that's
Okay,
what she
okay.
said.
Gotcha. Okay. I should be, yeah, I don't know why I'm asking you. What is Dave?
So Dave was
Oh.
originally the deity of Minecraft priorities, so redstone, building, beautification, and production. So, but I decided to let Lane decide what to prioritize for Dave and what he's holding. So he just gave Dave his priorities.
Yeah.
Instead of
Okay.
typical
That's
Minecraft
cool.
priorities.
Yep. It was also the first and only time that I have had somebody else in my single player world. So for
I'm
a day, it was
special.
not single player.
That's crazy. Actually, that's crazy. I guess I never
Water
even thought
bottle,
about it. Well,
hydration
I guess
check.
I was on, yep, I was on, got it. I was on Bedrock. So me having anybody invited was impossible. So that's another reason why I changed to Java was I was on that world. I did that interaction with Feather by downloading Java and joining him in his world and his Let's Play series. And then he's like, invite me to yours. And I'm like, well, I'm on Bedrock. Sorry, bub. Oh, another hydration check.
Another
This world's being
hydration.
I'm
great.
just gonna switch between my kombucha and my water.
This is actually a question that I'm interested to know, and I have an
Oh, no.
answer as far as it goes concerning your builds, but I want to know what your favorite builds have been. Like
Ooh.
what would you say your favorite thing that you've done so far?
I think I think I did see this question. Was your favorite one, and then which one resembles your personality? Is that the question?
Yeah,
I
that's the
saw?
question.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I did do my homework. I think my favorite build is going to. Well, I'm a little biased here, but I think oh boy, now I thought I had an answer, but now I'm confusing because I'm going to be honest. Among Us has been. I don't think it's my favorite build. I think that's what everybody suspects the answer to be because of how large it is and how much is involved. But I think my favorite build, odd enough to say, is my dystopian warehouse, just that open bay warehouse thing.
That warehouse
I don't know.
is
I
amazing,
love
dude.
it. It just it's falling apart. The roof is falling in, and on the
I
it might
love
be
build
my favorite
tells a
place in
story.
my
Yes. Yes, that's why I love it.
yeah, definitely. I was like, man, how do I build like a big storage place that's dystopian without making it look dumb? And I was like, I just do a stick building. It's actually inspired by. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and there was a billion warehouses falling apart like that. And I was like, okay, well, I can make this in Minecraft, and then match the palette of the rest of the settlement. But I think that's my favorite one. The one that conveys my personality best. This is gonna sound crazy. Yeah, this is gonna sound crazy. I'm gonna be honest. I think it might be Craft Trap, and that might be new news. That might be new news to E, who probably hasn't seen who Craft Trap is.
I have not. This is very
Well, maybe
new.
we could. Craft Trap is on the other side of that big hot air balloon. Goose made a sculpture park, and he was building it one day while I was working on Among Us. He said, "Hey, I'm building a sculpture park. We'll have to record sometime." 20 minutes later, Goose goes, "Hey, I'm done. Get over here." I said, "Hey, this is happening now?" He goes, "Yes, you don't have a choice." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me hit record, I guess." And it literally is a 3x3 tiny little robot. It's built slightly after Claptrap from the Borderlands games.
Yeah.
I haven't played those in 10 years, but
It's been ages since I've touched them.
yeah, he just said build something random, and a robot came first to mind. And I think the only reason that maybe it resembles any of my personality is that it's just it's out there, it's whimsical, it's weird, it doesn't fit literally anything else, and I like to think that I'm kind of an outside the box person, and I guess that's the best thing. I mean, I could pick Among Us, I suppose too, but I don't know. Craft Trap. Oh my goodness, I almost called him Claptrap. Craft Trap, I think is just I don't know,
Claptrap.
makes me giggle.
Well, see, what went through my head, as you said, Craft Trap, was the fact that Claptrap he's the goofiest character
Yeah.
in the Borderlands games.
He is the best one.
He gets up to a staircase and says, "No, stairs, my worst enemy," because he's got a wheel. He doesn't have legs.
It's like
Yeah, he's
K-Hug that one
amazing.
time during Suffer Together when we were teasing that he couldn't read. He didn't even hear me say that. And then immediately piped up, "Hey, I can hear you guys." After we had said, well, like he could tell what base he's at. And he said, "Hey, I can hear you." He said, "Okay, well, how did you... Well, if you could have figured out whose base that was by reading the sign," he immediately piped up, "What? I can't read."
Oh no, there was context behind that. That's so bad.
I don't know why I don't know why Claptrap
Oh,
reminds me
that's
of that,
funny.
but it does fit your personality, so I agree.
It fits. Oh no, that's not. Maybe I should relook at my life over after this. I should probably sit down and just have a conversation with myself.
why do I feel
Why-
why do I feel similar to this fictional robot that can't
Yeah.
go
Why
upstairs?
do I? Yeah.
It's just like a scene from The Office. Just, why are you the way that you are?
Yeah.
Oh
K-Hug
man.
is Craft Trap. All right, I think we
Okay.
got time for one more question before we wrap up part 1.
Okay. Well, there's going to be a few more of these main questions that we're going to ask in part 2.
Yeah.
But
Wait, part 2. Excuse me.
yes, there's a part 2.
That's
Yes.
part 2.
That's why I told you to book 2 hours of this.
Oh, we do one. Oh, back to back. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so how about we're gonna ask this one, because this one I feel like could be a quick one that we could do. If you could add anything to Minecraft, what would it be?
Oh, this isn't a quick one. This is not a quick one.
Oh, not a quick one?
I can
Do
answer
it
that.
anyway. Do it anyway.
Do it anyway. Okay, I've got a lot of things because I've thought about this. I've
Okay.
thought about this a lot. Okay, where do I start? I think a custom bush block. It can be just a regular leaf block, but it enables you to place flowers on it, so you can make flower bushes. Wouldn't that be cool? Like
Oh,
rather than
that would
item
be
frames
awesome.
and
I've
sticking
never thought
flowers
about
onto
that.
it.
Like a
Wouldn't that be-
cross-pollination bush kind of thing.
Yeah, but just like it's just a block, and it kind of almost acts as a block with, oh gosh, how many sides are on a block? 6. You could have 6 different, like you can place 6 flowers on it, and it would make it look like a rose bush rather than just using the. I know item frames are usable, but I think they could do that. They could definitely do that.
I mean, you
They
could
could do
kind of do
that
that
for
with
sure.
resin and glow lichen.
I kind of already, try to do that. I've done like picture frames and used our little mini blocks, like the red ones on the front of Mustache Marvels. I put little redstone mini
yes.
blocks on a bush
Oh,
and
yeah.
picture frames. But again, like it could just be a thing in mind. Like, why do we have to jump through hoops? Like, it just doesn't seem like a game breaking thing, and it would be a really cool ad. I think that's my number 1. There's the obvious. Everybody wants to see like the chiseled and tiled variants for diorite, granite, andesite.
Yeah.
I love those blocks. I think it'd be really cool to have different variants. And this came from my modded series because I used the chiseled mod, and you can do those kind of things. And I think not a ton, but if you just added chiseled and tiled variants for those 3 kinds, I
Oh
got a
yeah,
nice
I would
bow.
love that so
It would
much.
change. Yeah, it would change the game. And then, oh boy, what else do I have? I know I've got more. I've got more that I've been like, I get mad about sometimes. Stacking slabs, half slabs.
Yeah.
Why can we not stack them on top of each other? I get it. They combine into a single log, but how cool would it be to put, when you're transitioning between floors, you could put kind of a solid block, but it could be 2 different colors. I think that would be really useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be game breaking. I can understand why they don't want to do it. And then my favorite one, this might take favorite one, mossy logs. I think adding moss to the top of a log that's fallen
Yes.
over, I think that would look really cool.
Yeah.
I like that what they're doing with the new pale wood moss.
Yes.
How they have the moss growing up
Yes.
the side as well.
Yes, that is cool. Yeah, I do
wish
like that.
was something outside of just placing a moss though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it
you
is.
could share
Yeah,
it and put it on the sides of things, but I guess glow lichen is already a similar tone, and you can.
it's similar, but it lets off light where this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Other stuff does not. That's like the weird part.
That's what's making me miffed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get rid of the shimmer of it. Yeah, no, I'm sure maybe there's some of these things seem like pretty simple ad, so maybe they've been thinking about it. So we'll see in the coming years, the coming updates. But there's been a lot of people I know that have especially been interested in more chiseled and variants of the other stones and stuff that
Well,
I think would
there
just
needs to be,
add
yeah.
enough
Yeah.
extra colors and stuff in the game. My
Walls.
watch
Yeah.
just told me, relax reminder, stress seems to be high at this moment. Please take time to what have you guys done to me? Oh no.
This is what we
Hey,
get for mentioning
K-Hug,
what
this-
Minecraft doesn't have.
Yeah. Okay, look, this isn't a therapy session. This is an interview. Okay.
Yeah, should have told me that when we started. I've been over here sweating this whole time.
I'm sweating, but for a different reason. My computer is getting very hot right now.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
it gets hot in this room. Yeah. I'm
Ooh.
not actually sweating, but I could because it is very warm in this room when I close the door.
I should
Ugh.
probably open the window, actually.
Probably not a bad idea.
But we'll save that for part 2.
There we go. We're
Yes.
getting wild. We'll open windows.
Yes.
We're going crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the meantime, this is going to be it for episode 1, or well, part 1 of the K-Hug interview. We're going to take a quick bio break, and we're going to come right back for part 2. You guys get to wait another week. Sorry, but it is what it is. I guess we will see. I guess we will see you in the next one. Be sure to go and check out K-Hug's content. His link will be in the description. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
See ya.